Good day. We are here to present our activity regarding the process of fermentation in baking. Before anything else, let's discuss a brief introduction to fermentation in baking. Fermentation is an anaerobic biological process that converts sugars and starches into simpler substances. In baking, it causes yeast and bacteria to convert sugars into carbon dioxide, among other things. This is what causes the dough to rise. Besides dough, which is a mixture of flour with other ingredients such as water, eggs, and/or butter, fermentation is also used for the production of dairy products such as cheese, yogurt, butter, ice cream, condensed and dried milk, and so on. Enzymes such as the enzyme maltase that is produced during fermentation to break maltose into glucose molecules. Chocolate and other flavorings can also be the product of fermentation. In the production of chocolate, fermentation is the process that creates aromas, bold flavor, and rich color, which involves two main stages: alcohol and acetic fermentation. Fermentation can also be used to produce vitamins and antibiotics. Industrial microbiology can be used to produce antibiotics via the process of fermentation, as well as the production of vitamins such as ergosterol, which is provitamin D, riboflavin, orotic acid, and many more vitamins. How it works? In bakery products, fermentation is a complex series of biological reactions that allow dough to leaven. It is carried out by strains of Saccharomyces cerevisiae yeast, wild yeast, and lactic acid bacteria. These microorganisms start by consuming simple sugars into the flour and generated by amylase. This produces carbon dioxide and other compounds which are responsible for the unique flavor and texture of bread. The process starts once yeast is added to the flour and water, either as individual ingredients or pre-ferments. It continues through early stages of baking where the yeast is inactivated by the heat. The fastest rate occurs during proofing and oven spring stages.
So for today's video tutorial, we're gonna be making pandesal, a common bread roll delicacy in the Philippines. Now there are countless ways to bake it, and I am going to show you one of the many ways on how you can prepare and have a do-it-yourself baking experience. First, you need to wash your hands. Don't forget to dry your hands. Now let's get started. Ingredients you'll need is 1 cup of warm milk, 1/4 cup of butter, 1 egg, 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, 3 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of oil for the bowl, and 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. So first, mix 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of butter, the egg, and the 2 teaspoons of instant yeast in a bowl. Mix it a bit. We are using an instant yeast so we don't need to bloom it. Next is we're going to add the rest of dry ingredients, including the 3 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. After that, mix it until combined. After mixing it, let the dough rest for 20 minutes, uncovered. Sprinkle some flour to the dough and transfer to a clean counter. Knead until the dough is smooth for around 7 minutes. Form it into a ball and place it in an oiled bowl. Cover for an hour or until doubled in size. Remove the gas by pressing gently the dough. Divide it into 18 pieces. Form each of it into a ball and pinch the seams to seal. Roll under your palm to smoothen. Dredge your formed ball into breadcrumbs. Place in a sheet pan next to each other. Cover and let it rest in a warm place until doubled in size. Bake in a preheated oven for 18 to 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. And that's it! Home is filled with baked bread aroma. Hope I can share this to you.
So now, let us discuss the nutritional information we can get from this food. According to Natalie Stein in her article discussing the nutritional information of pandesal, she suggests that the exact nutritional information of pandesal depends on the specific recipe and it may vary between producers. A typical pandesal weighs 45 grams or 1.6 ounces. It has 120 calories. The bread has 4 grams of protein or 8% of the daily recommended intake for a healthy adult on a 2,000 calorie diet. Pandesal provides 25 grams of carbohydrates. This includes 1 gram of fiber and 3 grams of total fat, or 5% of the daily recommended intake for fat. 1 gram of that fat is saturated. A typical pandesal also contains an approximate amount of 210 milligrams of sodium per serving. Also, it contains 8% of daily recommended intake of iron. Iron, as we all know, is an essential mineral that your body uses to form hemoglobin, which is the oxygen-carrying molecule in healthy red blood cells. As what's have been said, the exact nutritional information of pandesal depends on the specific recipe and it may vary between producers. Let's take for example the nutritional information, diet info, and calories in pandesal from Gardenia. This is according to Fitbit, a team which provides nutritional information to various food products. That's it for our activity. Thank you for listening.